Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Hi, Gratitude Seeker. Today I would love to start by thanking Richard Neal for his rating and review on iTunes. He says, "Great podcast, awesome host. What a brilliant concept for a podcast. I've listened to a few episodes now and I simply feel better each time I do." Let me also add that Georgian comes across as very authentic and sincere. I'm definitely a fan and will keep listening. Rick, thank you so much for taking the time to write this, to let me know that you appreciate the podcast and you find it useful. I'm really glad that you do, and I'm really happy that you did this. Thank you so much once again. I always love receiving feedback. Of course, I love positive feedback like the one from Rick, but I love constructive feedback as well. And also, if you want to let me know what you think about the podcast, if you find it useful for yourself, for your life, or if you have some ideas on what I could improve or on some guests that you would like me to have on, I'm totally open and I'm really curious about what you think about it and what I could do to make it even better for you. So, getting back to today's episode, today I want us to focus a little bit on the details of life. Virginie sent me a video on YouTube about an octopus that was helped by a couple and that came back to thank them. And I thought that was amazing, and I did a little bit of research on octopuses, and they are very intelligent. And what was very interesting for me was that a researcher from Spain was conducting research on this animal for a lot of time. Like, I think it was 10 years of researching just this animal. And he said that he's still very curious and very passionate, and he is learning new things and he's appreciating new things about these amazing creatures. And that got me thinking. We have this tendency, and it's natural and it's normal, so you don't have to blame yourself for it, to always want new things that could give us new feelings. And but by doing this, we sometimes miss the beautiful things that we already have in our life. And I found it fascinating that he could dedicate his life to studying only one creature, and he was still, even after 10 years of studying it, he was still passionate, he was still curious, he was still finding new things, and he was still appreciating his journey. And I think this is a great lesson for us all. Like, you could also think about what are the things in your life that you could appreciate so much into detail. Like, maybe you have a hobby, or maybe you have an object that you really appreciate, that you use on a day-to-day basis, and you might take it for granted right now, but it might be actually really amazing. What I also do sometimes, for instance, with my phone, when I get bored of it, or I get into habituation, because this is how it's called, because you get used to it and you don't appreciate it too much, I search for new ways of using it in order for me to feel that appreciation again. Like, I search for new apps that could make my life more beautiful, easier. I go on the apps that I already have and see if I can use them more. And I think this is a great way of approaching different parts of life and different things that we take for granted, and that could bring us a lot of happiness and a lot of positive things. So what are those things that you could focus on more, that you could appreciate the details of more in your life? Think about it right now and choose one or two or maybe three, but not more than three, and think about how you could appreciate the details about that certain object or that certain relationship or whatever comes to mind when you ask that question. So make sure you do this. I think it's something that you could do easily, and it's something that can be very useful, especially if it's something that you use every day or a person that you interact with every day. It could make a really big difference in your life, because you take it for granted now, and by appreciating it more, by seeing the details of it and appreciating them, might actually get you to have a whole new different experience. And it's the same kind of experience that you get when you buy something new, and I think that's pretty valuable, and that's pretty amazing, and it makes the journey much more beautiful. All right, so make sure you do that, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe, and we can keep in touch. Thank you so much for listening.